Recording. Okay, I have my stuff. Like I answered the questions that were on there on my iPad. So do you want to
No,
go
you're
through each question and then like response to each one and then go through
yeah,
it? Okay. So for the first
yeah,
one,
we can do that.
how did the writing make you feel?
Was it about the book, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was reading the book, it was the first time that I read actual books like that. I usually go into like mysteries,
Okay.
and it was very like eye-opening. Like it shows you what some people had to go through like back
Hmm.
then. So it was like very like some parts were like very like they do feel kind of like if you were kind of there. I don't know if I'm
Hmm.
making sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So like certain things when I was reading the book, it felt like if you were in their place, like how they were feeling.
Like relatable.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like to read a lot, so but I read like on my Kindle,
Hmm.
so I have like physical or not physical books. But I don't usually like to read like
Uh-huh.
older books. So I don't know. So when I saw this one, I was like,
Oh,
I don't know if I'm gonna want to read it. Um but I said that the story made me feel angry because of the unfair treatment that both I think it's Aki and Sylvia's families went through. I did like
hmm.
how it was like in like both point of views. I liked how it
Yeah.
was like structured like that so you could see each point of view. Um, I put that I didn't like how Aki's family was forced to like leave their farm. Because I was making
Yeah.
like connections towards like my family, how I'm like, okay, when my dad moved here, he had to leave his
Yeah.
country to come here. And then I said, oh, I noted the part where they didn't let Sylvia go to the white school, even though she had like worked hard and earned it, um,
Yeah.
just because of the color of her skin, which I think that's like so sad to like see that people actually go through that.
Hmm.
Because she's just as deserving as, anyone else. But I did like how, like, despite that, I think it was pages until like page 75 that we read to.
Hmm.
How despite all of that, both girls were still like, I guess like staying strong and like they wouldn't let it like
Yeah.
completely knock them down. Um, so then my thoughts on that, I just said, this story reminded me of how painful discrimination can be, but how powerful it is when people stay strong and like they're kind and
Hmm.
remember like their true beliefs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eh,
Do you have something else to add to that one?
No, I think like I agree with you. I feel like their point of view is more like when your family comes from a different country and then they come to this country and some of them do have help and then other people don't have help.
Yeah.
I feel like you know how they had the farm and the banker was able to help them? I think it was a banker, right?
Uh-huh.
Was able to help
Something
them.
like
I
that,
feel
yeah.
like yeah, I feel like a lot of well, I can relate because usually when we had family here, they were able to help us and like, settle down in the
Yeah.
process. But I feel like a lot of people don't have that. And you can see it like how they struggle and they don't have any kids and they have to fill out paperwork and things like that. I feel like that makes it like very hard.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
I agree
yeah,
with you.
besides that, yeah, I agree with you.
The next question on there, do you identify with the characters?
I feel like being able to identify with both of the characters,
Hmm.
I feel like the way that they had to look help from the banker, and the banker was really nice to help because some
Hmm.
people will do it like they'll help, but they will want something back in
Yeah,
return.
like an ulterior motive. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way that he helped them out without like, taking advantage of them because they were gone and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, and then also like when you have family coming over here, there's family that, that won't ask for help and
Hmm.
like they won't ask for nothing back. And then there's people that do.
Yeah.
And then I can also relate with the other girl because the way that I think she looked up so much to her dad
Hmm.
because the way that she described him in the story was like, oh, the way that he was very hardworking
Hmm.
and shows like a lot of, in Hispanic cultures, how the dad is always the one working like Monday through
Yeah.
Sunday, and then they come home late, and then they do it all over again. Like they don't like don't take a break.
Yeah.
So I feel like I see both of the characters. Like
Hmm.
I feel like I identify with both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with all that. I said I connected more to Sylvia because I don't know if you've ever been to Kingsburg. Do you know where Kingsburg is?
No.
No. Okay, so I'm from Kingsburg and
Mhm.
we're like a really small like have you heard of Selma?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're like 10 minutes from Selma, but we're like a small like really like conservative and like white town.
Hmm.
So I said that I connected to Sylvia because I grew up in a Hispanic household, but mostly in like a white conservative town.
Hmm.
And then I said because I've seen and I was able to experience it firsthand when my
Hmm.
parents had to face like racial discrimination. Because my dad would tell us, he's like, when we first moved here, like it was like me and a couple other people who were like, Hispanic or
Hmm.
like, not white, and everyone else was like white. And I remember growing up and being in like kindergarten, and there was like, mostly the classroom was like, white
Yeah.
kids, and I'm just like me and like maybe two other people. Which is crazy to see now because now when I'm in like the classroom when I'm helping out, there's like I feel like there's mostly like Hispanic children in there or like,
Yeah.
other races in there, which
It's
I'm
like
like,
more diversity now
yeah.
than it was back then.
Yeah, and I'm like it's crazy because it's like maybe like 15-year difference, but
Hmm.
how, much things have changed. But I also said that it helps me feel um, I guess like almost hopeful because if like, back then my dad felt that way or like I
Yeah.
felt that way, then it's like now seeing it, it's like, okay, it's not always gonna be like that. Um, and then I said both girls remind me of times I've had to stay positive even when things were like unfair. And then I did say that the when Aki was like feeling like when she had to like, cha all the changes she was going through,
Yeah.
I said I could relate to that from the book. I think the book overall was really relatable, I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like you're able to connect a lot of your personal stuff with like the story.
Hmm.
And then there's little parts of it like you like see yourself in their place
Yeah.
just because growing up and then you're kind of like being able to help out your parents. I feel like
Yeah.
you're and then I feel like sometimes like you see your parents like they worry and they don't want to tell you, but you feel like you already know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I feel like the story was very like relatable.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it's like I feel like when I read things, I don't want to read things just to read it. I'm like
Yeah,
I feel like I need to get something out of it. So this book I thought it was like it was meaningful. Like I can actually like relate to it and I'm, like
yeah.
I guess enjoying what we're reading about. Do you have anything else on that one or are we good?
No, we're good on
Okay.
that.
The third one it says, "What did you like or not like about the book so far of what we've read?"
Mm. I really like how it connects, like when you read it, it connects both. Like they're going back and forth with their history.
Hmm.
Like it like doesn't throw you off. Like it gives you a big information about the farm and stuff
Hmm.
like that and how it happened and how they got the farm and then how the family like next the family came in and what was the process and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I feel like it gives a lot of details and then it also like compares back and forth like with stories like you're able to relate with both of them.
Hmm.
Other than that, I really liked the book. It was different from what I usually read.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't have anything like bad to say about it. So yeah.
Okay. I also said how I liked how it was, relatable. I said I liked how it showed like real history and emotions.
Hmm.
Because, even though these things happened a long time ago, they're still happening today, which I think is like
Yeah.
important to see. Um, I didn't have anything negative to say about the book. It was more like I didn't like how the families were treated, but that's just, the book explaining what's
Yeah.
going on. I did really like how I mentioned before that like the different point of views. Um, and then I said I liked how it teaches about like courage and friendship. Um, what else helps readers? Yeah, but I feel like for the most part, the first like pages that I was reading, I feel like it was setting like the scene of like how they were treated like unfairly.
Yeah. I feel like
Um,
sorry to interrupt.
oh no, you're
I
good.
feel like you know how some books take a while, especially when you're reading older books, they take a while for them to
Yeah, to
get
like
to
pick
the,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like it went right away.
Hmm.
So that's why I feel like it didn't get boring because it was like, it had, like, it'll tell you a little bit, like, it was like what was going on and what they were doing. And then usually when you read, like, I feel like when I read older books, I'm like, it takes a while to get to like
Yeah.
the
And it was
climax
like
and stuff
straight
like
to the
that.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I wasn't questioning what I was reading, and
Yeah.
I think it helped that it was kind of like an easy read kind of. Like
Yeah.
I feel like some older books have like the wording that's like, hard to understand. But this one I feel like it was kind of like it painted the picture so it was easy to like imagine it
Yeah.
and to read. Okay. So the next question, can you make any connections to the reading? So like connections to other books or movies?
I feel like just in general, like I think there was a scene, I think there was a scene. There's a chapter in the book that I think they were saying that most people, I think they said like something about like most people were scared to speak up just because they were
Hmm.
scared to like get sent back to Mexico or like to get fired.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's something, I feel like we still see that. I
Hmm.
feel like even though if they're mistreated in their jobs or they're going through something, I feel like they're too scared to speak up just because
Yeah.
of still like, what if I say something and they fire me or they send me back.
Hmm.
I feel like it's still relatable to a lot of people in
Yeah.
today's society.
Yeah, I totally agree. Um I think it was like I don't know how to explain it, but I think like the things that happened in the past, like
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately they can still happen now and we've seen it, like in the
Yeah.
news and stuff and it's really sad. Um but like I said before, I feel like it is kind of like okay, like at least we're acknowledging the issue because it'd be worse
Mm-hmm.
if it was, if people weren't writing about this and it
Yeah.
was, they were just pushing it under the rug. Um I said that I connected it to like another book that I had read when I was younger. I don't know if you've read it. It's called Esperanza Rising. It's like a blue cover and the girl is like it looks kind of like she's flying.
I don't know, no. I think, sorry. The book that I have recently read, it's called the pink little house or the pink house in the back.
Uh,
It's it's more like, how can I explain it? It's like a lot of like they live like in I don't know how to pronounce Matamoros, or like it's like by Tijuana.
oh, okay.
Okay, so it's like a little pink house in the back, and the mom lives in the front, and then they got involved with bad people and like crossing people over. It was kind of like that, but I haven't read that book.
Oh, well, this one's like a kid book.
Oh, I was like, no, I was like, I haven't read that book. I was like, I read like it's because usually my reading is more uh like I got the book like they gave it to me
Mhm.
for my birthday. So I was reading it. It was pretty interested. Like this is I'm sorry, like I'm going off topic,
No,
but
you're good.
I was telling my mom, I was telling my grandma because I was reading the book, but it was in English. And I was telling my grandma about the story and what was happening on. And my grandpa thought that it was happening to one of my friends. And I was like, no, it's just a
No.
story. And he's like, siempre con tus cosas. And I go, no, it's just that. I was reading my book. He's like, see, and then he was already hearing the cheese man, but it was all from this book.
That's happened to me too. I'll be telling a story to my parents and they'll be like, but like, why did she do that? And I'm like, no, it's like, I'm
Oh,
like,
I
it's
know.
something that I saw on TV or something like that. Um, but oh, well, that book, it was like also about a girl who was facing discrimination. So I connected
Oh,
it to
okay.
that. Another book that I really like, I don't know if have you heard of Maya Angelou, an author?
No.
No, there's this book and it's called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically, I think it's set, I want to say in like the 1940s or something,
Mm-hmm.
but it's basically like it's telling like the story about her and how like she experienced like racism, like trauma and just like things like issues with like her education, her family and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I kind of connected it to that because I was like, well, she also was, you know, being like racially profiled and all that stuff. And she was facing like discrimination in like a
Yeah.
small southern town. And there was like limitations. What else did I put? And it was basically just like that book kind of goes into like the power of
Hmm.
education. So I was like, okay, I feel like that would kind of connect to this. So I connected to that. I really like that book. That book's really good. And then what else did I? Um, I made some connections to like my own life.
Hmm.
I said that I've seen people be treated unfairly, just because they're different. Especially, I think growing up in Kingsburg, I was able to see it a lot. I saw like I guess like there was like the privileged kids, I guess, like um
Yeah.
because our town is so small, a lot of like the kids who like, you know, the more like fortunate kids that went to school here, their parents were like on the board of the school or like, you know, they were like
Hmm.
big named people or like, you know, the principal or something like that. And I would see how like they always got like kind of like the easy route or like, you know,
Yeah.
they missed school, like there was no consequences compared to like other people who were like not as fortunate as them or not as known. Um, and then I said I understand how Sylvia in the book like wants to prove herself and show that like, you know, she can do what everyone else is doing. It's just like not fair that she can't attend the same school. Um,
Yeah.
because I said I was like, that's literally how like my high school was. It was like say the football team, there was
Mhm.
like these kids who were really good at football, but just because like these other kids know people and have like, you know, their last name is like more relevant
Mhm.
or something, it was like, well, you're gonna play because your dad donates money to the school or, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really unfair. And it's sad because I'm like, I was literally in high school like 4 years ago and that was still happening. And it's like, there's someone who's capable and, you know, just because they don't donate money to the school like this other person
Yeah.
does, they don't have the same opportunity. Um, and then I said, I just kind of related it. I was like, growing up in a Hispanic town or hi as a Hispanic in a white town, I've witnessed discrimination. And then I just said it motivates me to be a teacher who welcomes like diversity in all students.
Hmm.
Because I personally never had a teacher who I was like, oh, this teacher, like, I don't know, is like racist or something. But I do
Yeah.
remember, I was like, I remember, and I always tell my mom about it because my mom's like, ¿Cómo enfadas with that story? Because I'm like, I'm always telling her. But I had this teacher in sixth, well, he wasn't my teacher, but we did like, you know, where you would just switch classes to like
Oh
another
yeah.
teacher. We did that in sixth grade. And I had like my actual teacher, her name was Mrs. Owens, and she was really nice. But like they were like, okay, you guys gotta like get ready for like middle school, like, and we were gonna practice like switching classes. So I like went to this other teacher, and he's now the principal at like our at the elementary school now.
Hmm.
That he was a teacher there, and his name was I think his name was like Mr. Pickerel or something like that. But we were
Hmm.
taking a test, and everyone would just like get up and like walk and ask him a question because he was just like sitting at his desk. And I was like, okay, like I'm raising my hand, like he's not, you know, he's not coming over. Like I need help on this or like I don't understand the question. So I got up and I like went to ask him a question, and it was crazy to me because this girl, her name was Emma, and I remember it like so vividly.
Uh-huh.
She was like your, you know, your typical like white girl, blonde hair, blue eyes. She had the
Hmm.
same exact like kind of like not the same exact question, but like this about the same question.
Yeah.
So she asked her question and he like answered. She sat down, and then it was my turn and I was about to talk and he was like, "Go sit down and raise your hand." And I was like why did everyone else, you know, like get their question answered and I'm the only one that has to like sit down and raise my hand? So I was like already mad and I went and sat down and like didn't raise my hand or whatever. And then he like saw that I didn't raise my hand, so then he came and like walked over to my desk and he was like, "Oh, like what was your question?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I was like someone else, like Emma had a question and you answered hers, but like why not mine?" I'm like, is it because I'm Mexican? And he didn't say anything, but he like also didn't deny it.
Uh-huh.
And I remember just like going home and telling my mom, and she was like, "You're probably like looking into it too much." But now I think about it and I'm like, why did everyone else get their like, you know, their question
They're at
answered?
yeah, like their question answered
Yeah,
and
I was like,
yours
and
just
he
had to go
didn't
back.
deny. Yeah, I was like, and he didn't deny it. I was like, I literally said, I was like, is it because I'm Mexican? And he didn't even say anything. I was like, he could have been like, no, like, why would you say that or something? I was like, him
Hmm.
not like saying anything was basically like admitting, like, yeah, that was the reason.
Yeah.
And it's
I
crazy
had a
because now he'll look at me and he'll be like, I'll go to that school and I feel like he remembers because I'll still
Like
like
what you said. So
yeah,
he
because
just looked
I
at you like
yeah, because I'd still be like, hi, like, I'm volunteering here or whatever. But I feel like he remembers because he still like kind of like has like that look, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna say anything.
I feel like even though like you were aware, I feel like kids are very aware and pick up fast
Yeah.
of things. I like there was a teacher, oh my God, I think it was like fifth grade or sixth grade, and we weren't allowed to speak any Spanish in his classroom. And it was only like, and he was like, he was he was white,
Uh-huh.
and and it was only English, and I barely came to the United States. I didn't know English, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, ¿Cómo me explicar? No sé. I was panicking, but he was like very like, no Spanish in my classroom, just English, so you guys can be
Uh-huh.
practicing. But it made it like so uncomfortable for me to ask any help
Yeah,
because
because you
I
didn't
would
know
rather
how.
like, yeah, so I rather keep myself like in the corner.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of Hispanic kids that would just like they would stay quiet, but it was like mostly all the gringos, like they were like, oh, they were answering the questions and stuff like that. And sometimes they'll like pick on us to answer,
Uh-huh.
but it was like you can like hear the acento, like like perfect English, and then like
Yeah.
the ones that are barely learning. But I feel like that made it hard because like I will always say like kids notice when other kids are different, and
Yeah.
some kids are very, very like mean and like they'll
Hmm.
pick on you, and then the other kids like are very understandable. But I feel like he wasn't aware like there was kids outside the classroom that will tell us like things.
Yeah.
So made it even hard for like a lot of like
Oh, my thing's cutting off. Okay. I don't know if I lost connection. Okay. Okay, well, I think someone lost connection. Okay, I'm gonna end the meeting and then I will pick up. I think I'm just gonna call her on her phone so that we can pick up.